Okay, come on. You need to actually focus on what you're reading if you want to learn. And they both lived happily ever after. That was so good! You barely needed any help at all with the bigger words. I am so proud of you. If I didn't know any better, I'd say that you'd be smarter than Norman by the end of the week. I mean it. I don't think even he could read this well when he was your age. You should be really proud of yourself. Hey. Is something wrong? You feel like you didn't do all that well? Why's that? Oh, something was confusing you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make it sound like you couldn't ask questions if you were confused. I just wanted you to practice on your own, and then I would help you if you needed it. You can absolutely ask if you're confused. Do you still want to ask about it? Of course, silly. Hey, you wouldn't be able to learn if you didn't ask questions. Don't you know that's what Mom always tells us? Yes, so if you want to grow up to be big and strong and smart, you need to actually ask questions. Oh, it isn't about any of the actual reading, it's about the story? Well, that's okay. It doesn't have to be about the reading. After all, curiosity is good for you. Even if it's not about what we were actually trying to practice, you should still ask questions. The story didn't make any sense to you? What do you mean? You don't understand why the princess fell in love with the knight who saved her? Well, I suppose it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to fall in love with someone you've only known for a day. But when they save your life, I guess it's just hard not to love someone who would do that. That's not what's confusing for you? What is it then? I'm sorry. I don't understand what you mean. No, I know what you're saying. It's just... What do you mean you don't understand why the girl falls in love with a boy? You don't think that you would ever fall in love with a boy? Well, I guess being the age that you are, that's normal to think. After all, when I was your age, I thought that boys were gross. I thought that if they touched me, they would give me something called cooties, which doesn't actually exist, but yeah, I thought that boys were gross. Is that why you're confused? It isn't? Then what's so confusing about... What? You would never fall in love with a boy, but but you would be okay with falling in love with a girl? No. At least, I don't think so anyway. I don't think that that's a bad thing. It's just, it isn't something that I've heard of before. Could I ask you about why you feel this way? Like I said, I don't think it's bad to feel this way. I've never heard of it. So I'm a little curious about it myself. And if I want to learn, I need to ask questions, right? Yeah, I'd be a pretty big hypocrite if I told you to ask questions, but then I didn't ask any myself. So, you say that you'd be fine falling in love with a girl instead of a boy? Why is that? You like girls better than you like boys? And you think that girls are really pretty? Yeah. Well, I don't know. I kind of know what you mean. I don't think that I would ever fall in love with a girl. Though, I guess I don't really know. I never really thought it was possible for a girl to fall in love with another girl, but I've never heard about it being wrong. I don't know. But what I know now is I can see when other girls look really pretty. I don't want to kiss them, like in the stories, but I do notice when they're pretty. And I make sure to point that out. After all, if they're pretty, they should know it. Sometimes it's nice to tell people nice things. Yeah, even if it is the most random thing, sometimes you can make their day by just taking the time to say something nice to them. So I do that. But I'm guessing that when you say that you think girls are pretty, you mean that they're pretty enough that you'd want to kiss them? Like the knights in the fairy tales? Okay. And have you ever felt like you wanted to kiss a boy? Never? Huh. That's certainly very interesting. No. I don't think that it's bad. I don't think that it means something's wrong with you. Just, I don't know. I guess I just assumed that all girls thought about kissing boys at least once in their lives. But I guess I'm wrong about a lot of things. I still have a lot to learn after all. So you would maybe want to marry a girl someday? Okay, I guess that's fair. We are a bit too young to be thinking about marrying anybody, even though all of the fairy tales always end with the princess marrying a knight or a prince. I guess it is a bit too early for us to be thinking about those things. Those are things that grown-ups need to think about, not us. If you did want to get married, you'd prefer to marry a girl rather than a boy? Well, that makes sense. I don't know a whole lot about marriage and true love, but if you are going to be married, you should try to make sure that it is true love. And if you don't even want to kiss a boy, I doubt that you would love a boy enough to want to marry him. So it makes sense that you'd want to marry a girl instead. Huh? Oh, yeah. You can ask me a favor. Anything you need. You don't want me to tell anyone about this? Not even Mom? Especially not Mom. Why? You feel like you'll get in trouble if she finds out? Why do you think that? The way that she talks sometimes makes it sound like girls can only love boys and boys can only love girls. I guess you are right. It does sound like that from a lot of the things that she says. But you're her daughter. Don't you think that she might change her mind if it isn't something that's going to hurt you? Don't you think she'd be okay with it? Okay. If you don't want to tell anybody about this, especially Mom, I won't say a word. It'll be our little secret. Though if you do decide that you want to tell Mom, I'll support you all the way. I can even be there when you do it if you'd like. Of course, silly. You're my baby sister. I love you so much. I'm going to make sure that nothing bad ever happens to you. I promise. Do you understand me?